guys, I'm Layla. Welcome to Raidlore Stories. Today's lore story is going to be for Giath the Truthshield. I actually really like her design. Twitch chat voted for me to read her story. Look at her shield. I really like character design. I think some of the shields in this game are amazing. This, I think, goes up there on the list of really cool shields in this game. I like her design. I also really like the halo that she has kind of behind her head. We've kind of seen that before in the Sacred Order with like Astralon, right? So we've seen it with some of the Lightbringers that they do this. So I find it interesting that they kind of gave her that design here too, considering she's a Night Revenant. So let's check out her story together. Lawson Klett's inner circle is small and scrupulously guarded. Only a handful are trusted to stand in his presence. Among those privileged few is Giath the Truthshield, Klett's personal bodyguard, an unbreakable, implacable wall of muscle and dark steel standing between him and his many enemies. Giath was only a teen when she first attended Cult of Klett's gathering, a silent, shivering wretch in meager rags. In a dingy Narbuk orphanage, she had been scolded, beaten, made to feel worthless, and, when she was adopted, her foster family was no less cruel. The suffering stole her heart and her tongue. To this day, Giath rarely speaks, though if words are absolutely necessary, she will. Cultists say hearing her voice is akin to feeling daggers of ice drawn across one's tenderest flesh. Elsewise, she is content to stand motionless for hours in sepulchral silence, ready to spring to Klett's defense in an instant. Even powerful, arrogant immortals such as Rector Giath and White Lords Narses and Ankara are made uneasy by her presence. In her initiation ritual, Giath was presented with a suspected traitor and murdered him without emotion. His blood was placed in a censer, and she was spattered with it in a twisted mockery of Lemayan practices. She smiled for the first time anyone could remember. When Giath grew to adulthood, she proved incredibly strong and resilient, her musculature astonishing, and her torture-scarred flesh seemingly numb to pain. She, along with many others, trained in secret in the catacombs beneath Narbuk, for Lawson Klett knew that his growing cult would soon face violent threats. Giath came to believe the abuse she suffered as a child was a test, something that strengthened her so that she may serve the cult better. To this day, her training regimens are masochistically brutal. True to Klett's fears, a massive crusader force of Karak, Frostheim, and the Sacred Order descended upon Narbuk with murderous intent after a rogue element within the cult prematurely murdered the High Cleric of Lumea. Narbuk was annihilated, and Klett fled the city via its labyrinthine sewers and crypts with a coterie of his closest advisors and strongest soldiers, Giath among them. Hearing pursuers during their flight, Giath and several others halt in a large arched vault supported by a handful of aged, cracked stone pillars. They bid Klett continue on while they fought a delaying action. The cult's enemies swarmed Giath and the other diehards, but Giath fought on, even as her comrades died around her. When she was the last remaining, she struck a crumbling pillar with all her might and shattered it. This was the final fatal weakness needed to bring the roof crashing down, and hundreds of tons of overlying stone and ruined structures collapsed upon the combatants. Lawson Klett heard the echoes of the massive crash and was pleased at the ingenuity and self-sacrifice of his servants. He's even more pleased and amazed when Giath herself miraculously came sprinting down the corridors after him and caught up. Her crushed and dented armor, soaked in both her own and others' blood, was covered with dust and chips of masonry adhering to the sticky surface. Her shield arm dangled broken and useless, which made no whimper of pain or word of complaint. Klett smiled. He would make her a Night Revenant and have her remain by his side. Since that day, Klett's trust in Giath has been vindicated many times over. Subtle infiltrators, righteous inquisitors, monstrosities uncovered in dark and forgotten places are conjured by spellcraft gone wrong. All have crashed against her mighty shield, and she has lain them all low with her eerie spear. In turn, Giath has earned new bodies to inhabit each time she has finally broken down from age or injury. She has lived for centuries this way, and with each rebirth, Klett has imbued her with a greater necromantic energy. That dark power now crackles within the ominous oculi of her shield and helmet, and manifests souls cloying smoke from the censer that rests within her wicked spear. Giath cuts an impressive figure and sometimes appears before supplicants to show them the glory of Cleth. The spiked holes that crown her shield and form an unholy halo behind her head are explained to would-be cultists as representing the passage to a better life and greater power the cult provides. They more accurately symbolize an ever-hovering maw of the Night's Revenant, which endlessly consumes the hopes and dreams of the desperate for the benefit of elites like Giath. Similarly, her title of Truthshield is a bitter irony. To devotees, it means she is the shield that guards the cult's truths Cleth has and will reveal unto them. But in fact, she shields the truth of Cleth's evil and exploitation from scrutiny. Wow, that story was a bit twisted. What do you guys think of that? I do like how they kind of dive into the whole idea, like the cult of Cleth, as you can see basically how it really is kind of a cult, and how they explain how she became how she is. Guys, drop me a comment down below for Giath the Truthshield. What do you think of the story? And thanks for watching.